Hey guys, it's Todd from OTTE Gear. I want to talk to you about our newly launched Down Range Pant. So this idea started in 2019, the idea of wanting to make a better combat pant that used better materials, better fabrics, moved with your body more, stretchy, less hot, and also we wanted to address the knee pad, the kneecap, the whole knee area, because we weren't happy with what we were seeing from some of the other companies that are out there. So the first thing we looked at was fabrics, and the current military standard is a NICO, 50% nylon, 50% cotton. Very, very durable. It's also no melt, no drip, which is great if you're in environments where you can be subjected to high flame or heat or explosions. So we didn't want to use a synthetic material because it would shrink wrap to your body. We also weren't really happy with 100% NICO because it didn't really stretch. And what the shortcut that a lot of companies are taking right now is to make their pattern of their pant very, very blousy and balloony. So it looks like you're wearing balloon pants. They have to do that because the NICO fabric doesn't stretch, doesn't move very well with your body. So they have to make it very, very blousy and big to accommodate for the lack of stretch. It's also very hot. It's also very stiff and boardy. It was definitely a shortcut that the government kind of created so pants would last a lot longer in the field, which is a great thing. But if you're not comfortable, if you're overheating, if you're getting restricted with sweaty pairs of pants that are binding up on your legs, then it's really hard to do your job. So we took that into consideration. So the first thing we looked at was fabrics, and we essentially took the NICO 50-50 and we added 3% stretch. So it's 50% nylon, 47% cotton, and 3% spandex. And that spandex gives you a great range of motion. So when you're doing any dynamic movements, the pant is really going to move with your body. So that is a nice feature with this pant. So another thing we wanted a more modern athletic fit, like more like a tailored chino, like a street pant that you'd wear, something that was more fitted. So the stretch allowed us to be a little more creative with the patterning of the pant. So we made it a little bit more tailored, which gives it a much better silhouette, because we know looking good in the field is super important, right? First rule, always look good. So that was one of the other major considerations. Another consideration was the overall silhouette of the pant. So the silhouette is much more streamlined, not going to snag on a lot of stuff, and lightweight. So we can start at the top of the pant and work our way down. So the hip belt, that was something that we really wanted to pay some attention to. So guys are using thicker, bigger, heavier belts when they're being deployed. We wanted to use a slightly padded belt. So we put some padding inside here. We made it high-waisted, so it comes up higher, so you're able to secure it to your iliac crest, which is the bone right at your hip where you run a backpack or a combat pant. That way it supports the pant on your body and moves with you more easily. Some of the other cool things besides the padding is going to be the belt loops. So we wanted to make sure that we tacked the belt loops down using bar tacks, very, very durable. And we put plenty of them on there, so it's going to support the whole pant. Another thing that we did was we added adjustments on the waist. So the average soldier loses 20-25 pounds on a deployment. So he's going into the field wearing a pant that fits him, and at the end of the deployment, basically he's lost all this weight. Well, now he has the ability to take it and cinch in the waist, which is a great feature to the pant. We wanted to remove any sort of snap, button closure that might be around where you'd wear a duty belt, pack, armor, whatever. So we have a flat front area just using hook and loop. very clean. We also bond some of these surfaces, so there's actually a bonding, so it stiffens it just a little bit, makes it easier to put on and off. Zipper fly, very, very durable zipper we use, YKK. Another cool feature to this pant is going to be the big, large pockets. So these big cargo pockets are for products that you just want to have secure, whether that be your phone, whether that be shoe, whether that be any other sensitive items. Another cool thing we did is we removed the fabric. A lot of companies use cell fabric. We actually used a lightweight mesh, and what that's going to allow is the pant to breathe. So if you want ventilation, this pocket now becomes a vent. So it's going to vent up the crotch area, the upper thigh area, keep you cooler. So that's your secure pocket up top. Above it, you have a large opening hand warmer pocket. That hand warmer pocket is big enough for guys that have huge paws or a gloved hand. You can get into this pocket no problem. We also use another piece of bonded fabric on this cutout for a knife clip area. So that's another nice little detail. If this gets tattered out, you can actually easily replace this. The tailor, they'll fix it up for you. Going down, you have these cargo pockets. We actually wanted to use magnets. They're a little bit more quiet than Velcro, hook and loop. So it's super easy to open and close. They're large. We didn't want to make them too large because they get snagged in tight brush, underbrush. We do billow them slightly at the bottom, so it gives you some volume down there. So if you were putting bulkier items in, it wouldn't be an issue. Another cool feature, we wanted guys to be able to get to mags or phone without having to go into a pocket. So we actually put this drop-in pocket. So it was designed to fit a mag very, very easily. It sticks out just enough that you're able to get a purchase on it and put it into your rifle. It also works very well with all the phones too. You can use both. So that's a good feature to that drop-in pocket right there. Moving our way down the pant, and something that we're very, very excited about. We also added 2 large rear pockets with a bonded flap Velcro closure, large enough for a wallet or even a mag. So one of the issues that we heard from some of our testers was that the current system of knee pads were not really working that well. They were having issues jumping out of airplanes. The knee pads and knee caps were ripping out of them. If they were flying a helicopter going at high speed, they were also pulling out, and guys had to be super, super careful or had to stitch them in. Also combatives, guys were rolling around, wrestling, doing jiu-jitsu, other stuff in their pants, and they're popping out as well. Also patrolling in thick underbrush, trees were getting snagged on the outside and popping them out as well. So those were some issues that we wanted to address. Another issue that we wanted to address, or not only just talking about the knee pad, the knee cap area, so we wanted to articulate it. So we use these very, very abrasion resistant resin dots that are impregnated actually into the fabric. So they've become part of the fabric. They're very, very durable, but they're also very, very soft, and they're malleable. So the pant and the knee area will move with you. So if you're doing dynamic activity, running, climbing, this whole pad area in the pant is going to move well. You can see how we darted that kneecap area. So that was a nice little feature that we did with this. You can remove the knee pad very easily by pulling it down. It comes out super easily. We'll talk about that pad in a second, but just keep going down the pant leg. A lot of guys were having issues with the adjustments of the pant around the kneecap. So what we did on this one was we removed, a lot of guys use straps in the back of the knee, and those work fine until you take a knee, and then they bind up and they really bunch up behind the knee, and they can really annoy people. So we wanted to try to remove that. So we went with a system where with a one-handed drawstring, you can go into this garage on the side of the pant, and you can see that there is a cord lock and an elastic bungee, and that elastic bungee, one-handed pulling, will take the volume around the knee of the pant, and it will mold around your knee, so it won't move left and right, back and forth. That was a great feature. The patterning of this pant is such that when you do take a knee, the pad is not going to move to the side. It always stays put. We had to really work hard on the patterning of this pant to make sure when you took a knee, it didn't dive to the left or dive to the right. So when you did take a knee, you actually got the pad on the right spot. And that pad, it stays put no matter what you're doing, especially when you have that drawstring cinched down. That's a great feature for this pant. So we really spent a lot of time on that knee area. Back to the back of the pant, you can see we also put 2 zipper pockets behind each calf. You can put shoe, med progs, tourniquet, whatever you want to put back there. We gave you 2 secure zipper pockets. We also added this blousing feature down here. So if you're in areas that you just want to secure it and get it closer to your boot, you can do that very easily. Another thing I want to talk about is the construction. So a lot of companies will, when they're stitching the pant together, they will use a single needle. And a single needle is fine unless you put a lot of stress on it. You put a lot of stress on a single needle, the fabric is going to come apart. So we use double needled. So there's double needles, so you have a redundancy. If one of those stitch lines blows, you have a second stitch line. Another thing that we did was we increased the stitches per inch. So what does increasing the stitches per inch do? That allows you to have more thread holding the fabric together. So in a sense, we use about 12 stitches per inch. The standard is about 8 stitches per inch. So if you put a ruler down, you can count up all the stitches that we put per inch, and that gives you a much stronger stitch line, and therefore a pant, because we know a lot of guys will blow out the crotch. And the patterning is such that we made this basically a climbing pant. We gusseted the pant with this diamond panel right in the crotch area, and what that does is it gives you more volume down there, allows you to move unrestricted. You'll see this in a lot of climbing and athletic pants. That's a key feature for range of motion. Some of the other features I want to talk about, a lot of guys wanted more protection around the knee, so we added that really plush kneecap, this knee pad rather. So this knee pad has been molded, it's ergonomic, forms the cup of your knee. One of the major issues that we were hearing is guys were feeling everything when they were on gravel, they were taking a knee, and it was super uncomfortable. So one of the things that we really started thinking about was adding thickness. So we thickened up the pad. We used closed cell foam, and that closed cell foam is not going to absorb water. So if you're in environments where you are in freezing temperatures, it's not going to absorb water and freeze and become a brick on your knee and be uncomfortable and not really give you any padding. So that was a nice little feature to this. So a lot of people were talking about how when they take a knee, the kneecap will move. When they take a knee, it flops around. Even when they cinch it down, they just feel like it darts to the left or darts to the right. So we took that into consideration. So when we designed this pad, we wanted to give you a larger base. So no matter how you're taking a knee in quick, really, fast situations where you had to drop a knee, maybe you couldn't cinch it down in time, we wanted to give you a stable platform, no matter how you landed on your knee. So this broader platform will give you great stability in multiple situations, whether or not you have it totally cinched in properly. Another thing to consider is that we cut the length of the pant a little bit long to start with, and by doing that, the pant will fit to your size after you wash it. So once you wash it once, it'll shrink and be the size that you order. So if you order a 32 by 32, it starts its life a little bit longer, but when you wash it, it'll end up as a 32-32. So when you take it out of the bag and you start wearing it, it feels like it's a little long. Don't worry about it. It's designed to fit better after you wash it. So many folks will remember a book a few years back and a product that came out of that where they wanted to do a lot of running barefoot, just the way our ancestors had done. And they wanted to feel the road. And so these minimalist shoes were used pretty regularly for about 15 years ago, for a few years. And you know, people liked them, they trained in them, they did stuff in them. It was a big thing. You could feel the road, you could feel the pavement, the trails, and it gave you some level of protection. Well, other folks took the idea of going with super plush. So we wanted a more plush ride. We wanted thicker cushioning. We knew from our time in the outdoors that we didn't like feeling rocks and roots under our feet. We wanted more padding, more protection. So we created a thicker pad, much like the shoe has a thicker sole, to keep you comfortable on longer, more aggressive trail runs or in areas that have a lot of rocks and roots. So we took that philosophy and we did map that onto our pad. That's why our pad is super, super thick and plush. We wanted something that really, really gave you the protection that so many folks were asking about. Now, that's not for everybody. Some guys are like, you know what, thanks, but I really like my thinner pads for whatever reason, and that's cool. And we did not want to shut out those guys and force them to have to use our pad. So we made sure that when we designed this pad, or this pocket, that it could accept industry standard pads that are out there. So this is from our friends over in Brooklyn. It's one of their field pads. And if you take a look, the pocketing is such that you can slide it in there. And it fits in perfectly. Velcro's down. So if you want to use that Cry Precision pad, you totally can do that. It fits in well. Some of you guys like other companies' pads. This is our friends up in Vancouver. This is their minimalist pad for their assaulter pad. That one also slips right in. You can use that no problem. It's a little thinner than ours. Closed cell foam works great. Now, some guys might want to use a more robust pad, like they only have the one from their Cry Combat Pant. That's no problem. Guess what? Fits in our pocket too. If they just want super protection, you want our resin knee caps with the Cry armor pads, no problem. Fits in that pocket, piece of cake. And it stays put. It's perfectly sized, so it won't shift around on you. Even the Patagonia version, the Patagonia kneecaps, even with the armor, with or without the armor, they'll also slip perfectly into this pant pocket. That it gives you great protection if you want to go that direction. Some of you guys also use a more armored one, like the Telemark ones, combat ones from Arc'teryx that are designed to be strapped to the outside. That one also, guess what? Straps and all, you can get that into the pocket. If you want to run this for longer periods of time, you might want to cut off those straps for just easier insertion, but you can see fits in there no problem. And some of you guys use old school strap-ons on the outside, this Mama Jama, this OTTE pad. That also, guess what? Pocket, it'll fit inside there. The straps are definitely big and floppy, but it'll fit in there, no problem. tuck the straps in, and then you get the protection you want from that one. But these come with every pair of pant, so you get these. If you want to use them, awesome. If you don't, put whatever you want to go in there. We just wanted you to be comfortable. So these are available at OTTEgear.com, and they've launched, so enjoy.